there, everyone. This is Denise, and Denise, your coach Ashley. She's just been raving about your progress. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about your journey, what got you to find us in the first place, and what you were dealing with, and how things are going now?
Mhm. Well, in December of 24, I got really sick. I got a pretty yucky strain of both COVID and strep. And coming out of that, I woke up one morning and literally my vision was beyond blurry. I just felt though I use the word wonky, was just disoriented and thought, oh my goodness, I've had a stroke. My mom was diabetic, my uncle was diabetic, and I thought something is happening to me, and maybe I am too and didn't know it. So was rushed to the hospital and luckily had not had that kind of medical event, but the blood work returned and indeed I was diabetic. And my immediately doctors started treating me as though I was type 2 because I'm 50 something and I was a little, I call it chonky. And but I had just had a complete full physical about 5 weeks before this happened. And two things were at play. Yes, I was hypertensive. I've had high blood pressure since my 20s. And number two, yes, I needed to lose some weight. But my fasting glucose and AC1 were well within range at that point. So we were going about this, and she was throwing metformin, all the usual stuff that doctors are told they have to do. And I was following step by step everything she did, but the medications were making me feel pretty bad on top of the disease. So we kind of tailored back, and I said, this is a choice I'm making. And I said, can we start over? And so we went the insulin route and got rid of the metformin and some other things, but she was treating me as type 2. And it was I guess algorithms as they do, you kept popping up. Your face kept popping up on my Facebook page. And I had already clicked on so many things, desperate. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And it just didn't ever seem like a good fit. A lot of programs out there, but there was always a catch 22 or all this crazy stuff. And finally, I honest to goodness prayed about it. And I thought, I'm going to try this 5-day class. I'm just going to see. I think this one's legit. Looked at your page and I looked at the credentials and all the reviews. And that's for the first time anyone had ever mentioned it could be 1.5. And so I was like, okay. But I was hopeful it was type 2. I wanted to reverse that type 2. Yeah. And so I did the 5-day class. And then that's led me to where I am now. So, and I'll tell you, my doctor, it led her to go, you do have LADA. All the blood work and stuff I had done through the program, she never did that. I'd go in every 60 days for new blood work. And she's like, okay, let's do this. Let's try that. And she was throwing everything at me. And things were very slowly, but they were calming down. But I just was disappointed because I was taking all the right steps. It's like, why is this not reversing? So it was through this program that allowed a correct diagnosis. And for that, I'm super thankful. So, yeah.
Wow, I mean that's a game changer to know that all along you've been
Yeah.
treated incorrectly and finding out
Yeah.
what the real problem was. Therefore, we can have a different, the correct treatment for you is a game changer.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I was about 8 months into this when I finally thought, okay. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, oh, that means yeah, insulin for the rest of my life. But, and I had already been on the track of trying to eat really healthy and exercising and all that. But that program just showed me so many other options. I had gotten pigeonholed in, okay, well, if I just eat this every day, my numbers sort of stay decent. It gave, I told Ashley laughs at me because I have two big binders. I like printed off the cookbooks. I did everything there. It's all tabbed and things that worked for me and all that. It made me feel like it wasn't a death sentence, that I could still enjoy my life. I could, make my way through it. Where the other I've just felt like I was treading in water, and no matter what I was doing, and I was doing everything the doctor said, why am I not seeing more results? Why am I not feeling better? Why? And sick of all the medications and all of that. So the only medicine I am currently on is insulin, and obviously have to do that, but got rid of all that other junk and then found amazing supplements and just healthy eating habits and all of that good stuff. So yeah.
Well, it gave you your power back and control of your life back, right?
Yes, yes, it did. And my family will tell you at first, they're like, okay, Denise has lost it. So I'm going through the house, Tupperware. Everything is just, it was an overhaul of, oh, that's plastic, and slapping it out of my daughter's. I mean, they're like, you went a little awkward, but now they're on board with it. They see, because they see the difference in me, and throughout last year, there was about a 96-pound weight loss from all of this. And
Wow.
yeah, and and it's funny because everybody at first was like, okay, Denise is going a little cuckoo, but I was just bent on, I'm going to do everything I can so I can be as optimal as I can and feel as good as I can for as long as possible. And so, but now coworkers and family, and they're all seeing that, and they're seeing me thrive. And they're like, okay, tell me a little bit more about the program or what you're doing. My PCP has even asked me all about, and she's like, okay, tell me about Dr. Guerra and what is this? Because I have patients that fit your mold, and I didn't even 1.5 or the GAD test, blood test. I didn't even know what some of that stuff was, Denise. And I've been a doctor for 30 years. So yeah.
At least she's open and willing to admit that she needs, and
Yeah.
that I don't hear that a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
good. And what are I mean, you lost tons of weight. What else? What other symptoms that have you noticed have improved since working on
Right.
this?
Oh, probably the biggest one is energy, is just having energy, not realizing, because I'm a go-getter and I'm outgoing and I just go, go, go. But man, I didn't realize that I was really running on fumes most times. Number two, for the first time since my 20s, even when I was this skinny in my 20s, I always had high blood pressure. My blood pressure is normal. And I'm
Wow.
about to be 54, and I have not been able to say that the last 3 decades. It has sustained for 6 months now when I go into the doctor's office, and it's well within normal range. And so that is huge, because I just thought it's with me the rest of my life. I knew I had that. Yeah, energy. I would say sleep, but I have 2 geriatric dogs that keep me up at night, having to go to the bathroom and snoring. But I can go to bed now and go to sleep pretty fast. And yeah, just skin, hair, all of it. It just everything. It just all feels better. It just feels good to have my house as toxic free as I think I can have it. Sure, there's still room for improvement. And what's coming in my house, my body, everything, it's not out of convenience or laziness. It's okay, I'm allowing this to come in. So yeah.
That's wonderful. And what would you tell the person who maybe like you feels like they're treading water, they don't know where to do, they don't know where to go? What would you tell that person
Right.
now that you're on the other side of this?
Yeah. Well, listen, I had a fantastic PCP. And she did blood work and stuff. But as you say so often in your class, that blood work, it's minimal, and it's in the range of people that are already kind of sick. I know when people might think about, ooh, do I want to take this next step of the program? That program, I really do think, I'm going to try not to get too emotional, but I do think it helped save my life. Definitely prolong it for the road I was going down, no matter how hard I was working. Yeah, it revealed so much to my PCP. And then finally, in the area I live in, it's really hard. It tells you about our illness level, because endocrinologist, I was diagnosed in the very end of December 24, and I just now saw an endocrinologist for the first time about 6 weeks ago,
Wow.
because they're just not available, the availability in West Texas. And I'm like, okay, we are sick people. We're sick people. But even he was not convinced of some things until I showed him my blood work through your group. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, okay, I agree with all of it, and he was receptive to. I said, sorry, I advocate for me. I do what I feel is best for me and how God's calling me to. And I said, this blood work, many times I take in, my folder, and it's thick. I said, this is all the blood work I've had done over the last 6 months. And I said, and it's what you're saying doesn't match this. And I'm going with this. I'm so sorry. And if you don't want me as a patient, I get it. I've waited this long. I'll find one who does. And he's like, let me do my own blood work just to confirm. And I said, that's fine. That's fine. And then sure enough, I got a notice, an email that says, yeah, you're 1.5. I was like, okay, I knew that. But if that makes you feel better that you said, that's okay. But I will tell you, at first, when I found out 1.5, it did scare me. I was thinking, okay, now what? Because I was going to reverse this, right? So now then it got a little scared, and I was like, no, I'm just going to find the tools to manage and to cope. And it's going to be good. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So it's scary when you know you've got something you can't quite reverse all the way, but finding the tools to treat it and manage it so it's not ruling you.
Yeah, to put into remission, which is what you've
Yeah,
done. So,
yeah, yeah.
well,
So, yeah,
I'm so thrilled for your progress, and I'm sure your family's thrilled, and I'm just so proud of you that you did all the hard work. Yes, we
yeah.
Ashley helped lead and guide you, but you had to do the hard work, and now you're reaping the reward of that. So, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And I will say that the coaching is phenomenal. She every time I had a message, I mean, she just was there. She just was there and so supportive. And a couple of times I'm like, I'm hitting a wall a little bit. So we'd redirect. I mean, so great, so great. Very specific, very detailed. Just yeah, just perfect, perfect. So
Yeah, having that person that you can lean on and contact
yeah,
and help
yeah,
you figure things out. Yeah, that's a big game
yeah.
changer.
Yeah, that's been through the program and you can bounce things off of, okay, this didn't work. What can we try now? So, and it helped that she'd already been through all that as well. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Denise. I know that's going to help tons of people, especially for those who have no idea that they could be diabetes 1.5, never even heard of diabetes
yeah,
1.5. So thank you for
yes.
sharing.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.